Hey, how's it going? My name is Reece, and in this free training, I'm going to be going over why some agencies win with cold emails and why others fail. But first things first, before I get started, I'm going to just go over who this is for. Now, this free training is going to be for any agency owner who is scheduling less than 30 to 40 meetings a month through cold email. Any agency owners who is sending emails but not getting enough opens or responses. Any agency owners who are actually serious about scaling their agency and actually wants to be successful. Not just if you're trying to make a little bit of money for a couple of months and then kill your agency. It's probably not going to work for you, just being honest. There's probably other ways that you could go about it. But if you are serious about scaling your agency, building a team, doing this long term, and you're willing to put in a little bit of work, then follow through this with me, and we're going to make sure that you can you can get starting start booking some meetings with your email. Okay, so first principle that I'm going to go over right now is very simply just not making enough variations. Now, simple fact, email works, it just does, but just not necessarily your first campaign. Now, if your first campaign does work, it's almost like winning your first lottery ticket that you ever buy. Simply put, your email is probably not going to work the first time that you do it. Now, I speak about this coming from a marketing background where I understand that looking at data and making adjustments is just part of the game. It's just a regular thing. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Reece, as I said. I own an e-com advertising agency, and I also own a one-on-one mentorship program where I help advertising agencies book 30 to 40 plus meetings a month through cold email and organic marketing. But that's who I am. That's what I do. As said, from the experience that I've got running my own agency, working with e-com, I have a bit of an advertising marketing mind where I know that it's important to look at the metrics that you've got, then make your improvements. Whether you're doing ads, you're doing email marketing for e-com brands, whatever it is that you're doing, or if you're doing cold email for yourself, it's about getting the data and then making the variations based on the data. It's pretty normal. Whether you're doing that for ads or whatever it is, it's the same with cold emails. It's exactly the same. You put the campaign out there, you get some responses or you get some metrics, and you use those metrics to go ahead and make improvements. Now, most agencies actually spend more time optimizing the ads for their clients than they'd ever do for their own emails, which is actually what gets them more clients in the first place so they can actually help more people. So it's like if you want to help more people and be able to actually make a big impact, obviously grow your agency, make more money, book more meetings, etc., then what you've got to do is put the first campaign out there, get the metrics back, and then work on actually improving them, improving the benchmarks, getting that higher, getting the metrics higher, getting more opens, more responses, and then most importantly, a higher meeting book rate. So simply put, if you're not booking 3 to 8 meetings per 100 emails, something is wrong. So what you want to look at improving is your subject line, your email copy, or your lead quality. If you improve these 3 things, generally you will see that your emails start performing a little bit better. Again, you get more responses, you get more opens, more responses, and most importantly, more meetings getting booked in, which is what we all want. So most importantly, you just want to make sure that you're making enough variations. You're taking in the data you're getting from the metrics you're receiving, and you're going to go ahead actually making some improvements right now so you can make sure that the campaign is constantly improving. As a quick side note here, make sure that you are separating it into separate campaigns. I've seen sometimes, people take this too literally, where I say change the campaign and they literally just change the campaign. Don't do that. If you're operating on Lemlist, just go duplicate the campaign and create a new variation from there. Because what we want to be able to do is look back at the previous campaigns and see that there's been an improvement based on the new things that we're changing. Of course, if something doesn't improve, then you know to switch that segment back to how it was and then change something else and keep making the improvements there. But most importantly, keep making variations. If something's not going well, or if you're not hitting the KPIs that you've got set, especially a KPI like this, booking 3 to 8 meetings per 100 emails, then go ahead, keep making those improvements, and with time you will get to that level. So number 2, the second principle that I want to share is just about having no authority. Now, when you start your agency, when you're basically sending emails as a brand new agency owners, then you can pretty much see immediately why it's not working for you, and that's simply the fact that there's no authority yet. So when we're sending emails to companies that have never heard of us, it's just bear in mind it's entirely cold outreach. And the number one way to rapidly improve your meeting book rate is by having leads trust you. If somebody trusts you, they're more willing to actually give you money because they trust that what they're going to get in return is going to be more value than what they're giving you. And that their money, their time, whatever their assets are actually well looked after. And you're not going to be wasting their time on a call. You're not going to be wasting their money. You're not getting them a return because they trust you. And they trust you can actually provide the result that you're selling them. Now, the best way to actually establish this is by showing yourself as an expert or authority figure within your niche or your market. So how do you do this, right? The best and two easiest ways to do this is for using number one, is using a better and more relevant case study, or number two, content. And the way that I feel about it is like, why would you not do both? If you do both, you're going to increase your expertise, increase your perceived expertise and increase your authority within the space. And then people are going to trust you more and they're going to want to come to you. This is going to switch from you coming to businesses begging for their business. It's going to come to the fact that they see that you got the transformation or the vehicle to get them to the transformation that they desire. And then from there, they're going to be coming to you. So as I said, do both. Be active on social media, posting content that shows yourself off as an expert in your space. Build a personal brand around your niche and offer, and be known as the go-to person for that desired transformation. What I mean by desired transformation is if you work with e-com brands and help them scale to 100K, that's the transformation. You're saying we're going to scale you to 100K. If you say something like we're going to help you get a 50% extra or 250% extra revenue, which by the way I don't like offers like that. I don't think that's a proper offer. But if you are going to go ahead and say something like that, either way, that's the transformation. If you're an accountant and you help people, or you're a tax advisor and you help people, spend give away less to tax, that's your transformation. You say, hey, we're going to reduce your tax bill by X amount. Like, that's the transformation that you're offering. So yeah, most importantly, when you're actually doing organic, if you're doing social, make sure you're actually having conversations with prospects. So message them on social media, focus on adding quality leads, quality prospects that know what they want. And that thing is usually going to be what you sell. And then just keep adding those people and then focus on providing value. And again, establishing yourself as an expert or authority figure. Now, the next principle that I want to go ahead and touch on, number 3, is just very simply having a poor lead quality or a poor criteria. And this is a pretty simple one, but it's one reason that I often see people having terrible open rates, is the fact that their emails bounce. And if email bounce, it just means that that email does not exist. This usually happens due to poor email qualification or verification, whether that's you doing it or a data miner or a VA or whoever it is. But most importantly, a high bounce rate tells Google that you don't actually know who you're emailing. And they will flag your domain as spam for this. The reason that I say that they will think that you don't know who you're emailing is like if I were to give you my email and then you would send me an email, like it's because I've given you my email. But if you just make something up, or if it's perceived that you're making it up by Google because you're getting something wrong continuously, then of course they're going to be like, oh, you actually have no idea who you're emailing, and then they're going to think that you're doing spam, which is the last thing that we want is a spam score or something like that. Now, the other side is asking yourself 2 important questions about the leads. The first thing is just making sure that the email is legit and the actual email address is working. And the second thing is just asking yourself these 2 important questions. Number 1, are they a right fit based on the company size? Does it look like they can afford what you're selling? Does it look like they would actually be a good fit for what you're selling? And that's the second one. Does it actually look like they know? Does it actually look like they need what you're selling? If it looks like they are a good fit to actually go ahead for the service or the offer or whatever it is, and if it actually looks like they could benefit from what you're selling, then go ahead and send the email. But it's better to have a lower number of leads that are qualified than more leads that are not, because this messes up your data and has you focusing on the wrong things or, of course, the wrong leads. If you're sending, let me just put this into perspective right now. If you're selling a very high ticket service, but you're emailing people that you know don't have the money, then of course they're going to be responding, I'm not interested, because it's got nothing to do with them. They can't afford it, they're not interested in it, and thereby it's got nothing to do with them. But if you then go and send that same campaign to people who are in the perfect position to actually go ahead with what you're selling, they've got the money and they've got the desire, then you're going to have entirely different results. Now, if you have one campaign where you've got a mixture of different leads, where you've got some that are really, really good and some that are really, really bad. Well, the ones that are really, really bad, the one that are really, really bad are going to pull down your campaign results. So instead of having a really good open rate, a really good response rate, a really good meet and book rate, for the people that are interested, it's going to be high. For the people that aren't, it's going to be low. But then overall, it's going to drag down your results. So just make sure that your leads are qualified. Make sure that the criteria is spot on. Make sure that you are only actually reaching out to people that, are a good fit based on the company size. And they actually look like they need what you're selling. The last principle that I want to go over right now is just not doing enough pre-work. Now, most agencies fail to understand the importance of truly knowing who they are emailing in the first place. They don't like to do the research that is required to come out with a compelling offer and email campaign. And where it comes to compelling offer, that also just means the messaging behind the offer. Because at the end of the day, you can have a solid offer and just phrase it a little bit differently, and then suddenly it seems like it's an entirely different offer. The most important thing right here is you must research your niche. Actually speak to them and ask them what they want or what they need. Take the time to understand your dream client and see what they look like. This will also drastically help with your email criteria. So when you're able to speak to somebody, see what they need, see what they want, and develop this offer of yours, you're able to see the exact person that needs what you want, and then that becomes the criteria. You just look for more leads like that person. And then, of course, where it's going to benefit us even more here is we're able to communicate that within the ad copy. Or sorry, not the ad copy, the email copy. We're able to say to them, I know that you're struggling with this. I've got the solution. Do you want the solution? If yes, let me know and I'll respond with some times. That's exactly it. That is what email is. Just finding the people that are interested and then having them go ahead and book in a call. Now, with this information, as I said, you can craft your email copy in a way that your prospect is more likely to positively respond to. So what I want you to do is just ask yourself when you completed the campaign, if you were the person receiving this email, would you be interested in reading and taking action? If not, just don't send the campaign until you would. And also, just make sure to personalize your emails. Simply putting a first name and a company name is not enough. Make sure that the first line is entirely custom and personalized to the person that you're emailing, not just the company that they work for. The last thing somebody wants to see, unless they're the CEO, is, hey, congrats on this business achievement. Like, they don't care about that. They care about something about them. So make it about them. Do make it about business if you can. But most importantly, make it about the person you're emailing. Stroke their ego a little bit. Make them feel special, because they probably are. If you're emailing them, they probably are a little bit special. So make sure that you show that you know that. Make sure you show your appreciation for them. Stroke their ego a little bit. Make them feel good. And then just at the end of the day, just get that personalization out there, and you'll get much, much better response rate, much better open rate in some cases, and most importantly, you will book more meetings. So this pretty much ties it up for this video. What I'm going to say is, if you do have any questions about the things that I spoke about, I know I speak fast, but really I just wanted to make sure I could wrap this video up in a short time frame that keeps you engaged and keeps you actually watching through. So if you have watched through to this part, I know that you're super serious about your emails. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. I appreciate you watching. Comment down below. I will always keep up with the comments. I'll make sure I respond to any questions that I've got. If you are watching on Facebook, if you are watching on YouTube, either way, if you're looking for a little bit more help on your cold email or your organic marketing to be booking in 30 to 40 meetings a month plus, then feel free to reach out to me. I can tell you a little bit more about how I may be able to help you out with that, and then we could just have a conversation. I love to hear about the people that are actually watching these videos. I love to receive the messages from people saying that they found so much value. So if that is yourself, if you have a question, if you'd like to see how I can help you out further, shoot me a message. Primarily over on Facebook is the best place to reach me, so send me a message there. If you're watching on YouTube, that link will be down below in the description. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you got a ton of value. Again, if you have any questions, let me know down below, and I will see you again in the next video.